Sandi Patty is among the most highly acclaimed female vocalists in gospel music history. Once you hear that voice, you will never forget it. This five-time Grammy winner was introduced to the world in 1986 when her rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner played on national television during the rededication of the Statue of Liberty. Those moments forever changed the future of this powerhouse soprano. But what seemed like overnight success was backed by years and years of great training. Sandi grew up just down the road from Gloria and me, and she was raised in a wonderful family of musicians. After graduating from Anderson University, she was destined to use her incredible gift to touch untold millions of individuals around the world. Winner of 40 Dove Awards, 4 Billboard Music Awards, a Gospel Music Hall of Fame inductee, and the 2004 Indiana Living Legend, Sandi Patty's recordings have sold more than 11 million copies. Today, Sandi Patty is here with us, and we are going to learn a whole lot more about her musical journey and get to know the sweet lady behind that flawless voice. I'm Bill Gaither, and I am pleased to welcome you to the best of Sandi Patty.
The sky shall unfold, preparing his entrance. The stars shall applaud him with thunders of praise. The sweet light in his eyes shall enhance those awaiting, and we shall behold him then face to face. We shall behold him. Yes, we shall behold him face to face in all of his glory. Oh, we shall behold him. We shall behold him face to face. Our Savior and Lord, and the angels shall sound the shout of his coming, and the sleeping shall rise from their slumbering.
And Sandi Patty, you had to be thrilled with that setting, right?
That was a beautiful, beautiful setting, the Indiana roof. But I was thinking, man, a lot of life has been lived since that.
To do this taping today in this room, this is a very historic room because this is where all the homecoming stuff started.
Yes.
And you were in many of the early ones too.
Absolutely. And I actually started also in this room doing a lot of studio work in college and coming in here and doing some orchestra stuff. And so this has great sentimental value to me.
And for you, Sandi and I have already met, and we've done a whole lot of hugging and all that good stuff. But this is going to be a wonderful opportunity for the people who don't really know Sandi Patty, and there's a lot of good stuff to know. And you do know that Gloria and I love you, don't you?
And it's so mutual, so mutual.
We've had so many kids come in through this farm camp.
I know.
And really, it started, I think, maybe in this studio when somebody kept telling me about this, about Ron and Carolyn Patty's kid. Said, boy, that kid can really sing. And I said, yeah, I'm sure Ron and Carolyn were great. I'm sure that she's okay. So I came in one day, and you were in here. You can say a lot of things about Sandi, but one thing you got to say about you is you're one of the hardest working people I have ever known. When it comes to singing, you were in here, early in the morning to late at night singing. And I looked in there and I said, now that's Sandi? I said, yeah, boy, she's good. And remember afterwards I said, would you like to go with us this fall?
And I said, let me pray about it, yes. And I tell you what, it's been a fabulous journey. And so often, Bill, when I do interviews or whatever, you and Gloria are part of my story. Because so often people say, how did you get started? Well, I sang all my life with my family. Yeah. But professionally, when I was a little kid at Anderson University, Bill said to me one day, hey, would you be interested in going on the road? And I said, let me pray about it, yes. And it was a wonderful season of you guys mentoring me when you maybe didn't even realize that you were mentoring me, but I would watch you, and I would watch you be so real on stage. Same the way you were off stage. And I thought, you know what, I want to emulate that.
I've looked forward to this day, and I told Gloria I was going to do this. I said, this is going to be a love feast for me because to see a kid grow up and develop her faith. And we took you all over. We went to a lot of interesting places. But the night at the Kennedy Center, this is big time stuff for us. But I tell you what, you helped class it up. And to introduce you that night, I thought we did something pretty clever.
Well, you're always clever. You're always the king of the side door. This is what I call you.
So you know what? In all fairness, I thought, now how am I going to slip this semi-classical singer in this country setting? So I thought maybe the best way to do it was what we did. Let's watch it, okay? And here's the song that Sandi backed me up on back in those days. And Sandi, I'll sing it, and you just do your backup. You just do your backup part, and we'll. No, you can stand right here close. If you would. It's the right place and the right time. Meeting in obedience to His word. It's too loud. In the right place, or just a backup singer, okay? And the right time. Right time.
Right time.
Not a thing against my brother. We're just singing.
Here
To love each other. I think you know it.
Right place.
I think you can do it by yourself, and I'll just.
At the right time, lifting hearts and hands in one accord. It's the right place at the right time. Anticipating good things from you, Lord. anticipating good things from you, Lord. It's the right place at the right time. We're meeting in obedience to your
Did you see how high Mark Lowry was kicking his feet?
Sooner or later, Mark is going to get in on the act, right?
Sooner or later. That's funny. I absolutely love that song. It sets the tone for a really great evening. It lets the audience know we're not going to hurt you. It's okay. Come on along.
You know, and I think on that one, we did that with Michael W. Smith.
I think it's time to pull that song back out. That's a fun one.
Sandi, you were at a very historic place with us in Nashville for the farewell performance of the Cathedral Quartet.
Yeah.
Little did we know when we did it that night that even before the video came out, Glenn Payne had cancer.
Isn't that something?
It was...
What a sweet night that was. My favorite part of that night was just Glenn and George sitting on the edge of the stage, just the two of them talking. That was amazing. I remember Glenn saying, yeah, he's got his next career. He's going to be at Walmart, and he's already practicing.
Yeah, he's going to be a Walmart greeter.
Yeah, he's going to be a Walmart greeter. But how special to be part of that. And, you know, growing up, my dad was in a gospel quartet. So when the Cathedrals called and said, you know, can you do something kind of Southern gospel, I just kind of went back and pulled out some of those old gospel songs I had heard my dad sing.
You met George and Glenn first at the Praise Gathering
Yes.
in Indianapolis.
They were so amazing. And George, maybe, present company excluded, maybe the best quartet bass.
No doubt, no doubt.
Because, and you know, often I thought, and I don't know if he ever did this, but I often wanted to hear him do a classical aria
he
because his tone was just equal to none.
I've often said about George, he was not a bass singer. He was just an incredible singer.
Yes, exactly.
Who had some low notes.
That's exactly right.
And
he knew how to program, and he knew how to relate, and sing so well.
And secondly, he was such a personable human being.
Yes, very much.
Did you feel loved when you were around him?
So loved, so loved. And I would love to make him laugh because his laugh is the best laugh ever.
Well, let's go to Nashville, and George is going to introduce you as part of their final farewell concert.
I guess it was 15, 16 years ago, maybe even a little longer, but Bill and Gloria had invited us to the Praise Gathering in Indianapolis, and 10,000 people. And we've been quartetting all of our lives and hadn't run into many soloists back in those days. And so that night, we were sitting in the audience, and Bill Gaither introduced a young lady, and she went up and sang. And Glenn and I looked at each other, and we said, we've never heard a voice like that. And we became one of her biggest fans. And down through the years, I still say, I've never heard a voice like this. Would you welcome Sandi Patty?
Farther along we're gonna know all about it. And farther along we're gonna understand why. Come on and cheer up, my brother. Live in the sunshine, and then we'll understand it. Oh, yes, we will. Oh, by and by. Oh, by and by. Farther along, we're gonna know all about it. Farther along, we're gonna understand why. Come on and cheer up. Go ahead. Go ahead now, come on. Cheer up, my brother and sister. Live in the sunshine, and then we'll understand it. We gotta sing it again. We'll understand. Sing it, sing it. We'll understand. Hold by and by. High. Oh, by and by and by, when the morning comes, when the saints of God gather home, we will tell the story how Noah comes, and we'll understand it better. By and by, by and by. By and by, when the morning comes, when the saints of God gather home, we will tell the story how Noah comes, and we'll understand it better. We'll understand it better. We'll understand it better. By and by. I've always wanted to do this. I'm gonna go this way, you go that way. All right, I'll point.
Was that a night?
I had forgotten that George was on.
Look at him.
Oh, that just makes me so happy.
Good memories, right?
Very good memories.
And to see George and Glenn into that so much. Did you see Roger Bennett in the middle of the thing dance?
Oh, I love that. You know, I first heard that song farther along when I was traveling with you all, and we'd have prayer time before we went on stage, and you'd have us all kind of sing that, and you'd give us the chords, you know, with your finger. Farther, about it. And I love that song. And so one day, Amy Rouse and Brian McSee, we were just kind of messing around with an idea at Soundcheck, and I said, let's try that. And that was born, so.
You know, the reason gospel...
You're a part of a lot that I do, Bill Gaither.
You know, the reason gospel songs are great is they talk about perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That song talks about perspective.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things we do not understand now.
Right.
And there are some things we're not going to understand until we get to be 30 or 40 or 50 or 60, in my case, 70s. And maybe some things we will not understand until it's totally over. But I love the optimism in gospel music when it says, cheer up, my brother.
Yeah.
My sister. Live in the sunshine.
Live in the sunshine. We'll understand it. Maybe not now.
Yeah.
But all by and by, someday.
And to put that in perspective, that was done in June.
Yeah.
By November, Glenn Payne was gone.
Isn't that something?
With liver cancer. And then just a few years later, George is gone. And then Roger Bennett, the young man who was playing the piano.
Who was hipping and skipping across that stage.
He's gone. So 3 of those members of that group. Life is fragile, isn't it?
Life is fragile. It is indeed. Which is why I'm so glad that just out of your wanting to capture historically some amazing people, we have George on film, and we have Vestal, and we have Howard, and you know, some of the people that you know really carved a path for those of us who came behind them. I'm really grateful for that.
Another great night that we had, and you know what? We took you anytime we could get you. You were busy doing your own thing, but from time to time, I'd call and say, hey, Sandi, we're going to do a fun thing on the banks of the Mississippi in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes, yes.
And we're going to have a Dixieland band, and I think there's going to be a whole lot of fun going on. I can remember Jesse doing I Saw the Light, and you came in on the end of that, did a little bit of that. I think
we had church. It was just nonstop church.
And we did an old James Cleveland tune. I kept on searching, kept on searching until I found him. And I don't think you'd even heard the tune until that night. And I said, Sandi, you got to come sing.
Company because everybody there has your back. And so Jesse said, just keep saying Searchin.
And so then after all of that, we went into the old gospel classic, My God is Real. I would imagine that you did that one with your dad and mother, right?
Yes, I did. My dad used to do that with our choir.
Yeah.
You know, choir in Phoenix, Arizona, at the church there in San Diego. When I started traveling a little bit on my own and wanted to add a little variety, that was the first kind of old type gospel song I did. Yes, God is real.
Let's go there. Okay, Memphis, Tennessee.
Somebody say amen. Somebody say I cannot tell just how you felt when Jesus took all your sins away.
Oh my goodness.
And what does your voice teacher say when you say?
Oh, when that one moment when she just cringes, but she says, just make sure the next measure you're using good vocal technique.
You know something? We are all a product of all of the influences that we have had from the beginning of time. You know, you had a wonderful classical background because your mama was a good keyboard player.
Yes, made us take piano lessons.
And so you knew all about the classics. And then you went to college and majored in vocal performance. So that had to be all classical.
Yep.
And so I'm sure a lot of people look at you and say, now, who is the real Sandi Patty?
All of the above. Because growing up with my parents, I'm so grateful because they really allowed us to listen to from the Beatles to Leontine Price to, just everything in between. And so I feel like I really had an opportunity to be exposed to Black gospel, Southern gospel, classical, everything in between. And I think, the type of music that I'm drawn to as a singer are all of the musical influences that I had growing up.
And it's made you the person that you are today because, just a one-dimensional person, to be honest with you, it gets kind of boring.
Well, I think so. And I think it's just fun to have a little variety in life. It definitely is.
Chemistry is very important in what we do. But when you met Larnell Harris, as somebody suggested, why don't we put these two voices together? Whew, you talk about chemistry.
I tell you what, and a lot of people don't know, we actually didn't meet until a couple of years later that we recorded that duet together. Lanny Wolfe wrote a song called More Than Wonderful for a Christmas musical. Don Marsh did the arrangement and had this idea of Larnell Harris and Sandi Patty doing a duet. We couldn't get our schedules to meet, so Larnell went in the studio first and recorded his part. Yeah. And then I came in the studio a couple of days later and recorded my part of More Than Wonderful. So on the very first recording of that Christmas musical, Larnell and I were not in the studio together. It wasn't until a couple of years later that I did a project called Live, More Than Wonderful, and invited Larnell to be part of that concert, and we sang that duet together. So it was really fun for us to get to do this.
When you finally got together on the stage, it was more than wonderful. And this one you did at Carnegie Hall. What kind of experience was that?
Carnegie Hall, Carnegie Hall is one of those places growing up, you think, oh, one of these days I'd love to sing at Carnegie Hall. So I'd never been to Carnegie Hall before until I got to go with you. And my mom and dad, I said, you know what, I'm gonna be at Carnegie Hall. You have to come. So after we did our sound check and there was a little time, I brought my mother on the stage and I said, Mom, you have to just sit and play the piano just for a minute at Carnegie Hall so you can say, I played the piano at Carnegie Hall. That was a great night. What an amazing, amazing night.
He promised us that he would be a counselor, a mighty God and the Prince of Peace. He promised us that he would be a father and he would love us with a love that would not cease.
Tried and I found his promises are true. He's everything that he said that he would be. And the finest words I know could not begin to tell just what Jesus really means to me.
For he's more wonderful than my mind can conceive. He's more wonderful then my heart can believe he goes beyond my highest hopes and fondest dreams. He's everything that my soul ever longed for, everything that he promised, and so much more. He's more than amazing, more than marvelous, more than miraculous. Could ever be more than wonderful. That's what Jesus is to me.
I stand amazed just to think that this King of glory would come to live within the heart of man.
And I marvel just to know he really loves me when I think of who he is and who I am. For he's more wonderful than my mind can conceive. He's more wonderful than my heart can believe. He goes beyond my highest hopes and fondest dreams. He's everything that my soul ever longed for, everything that he promised, and so much more. He's more than amazing, more than marvelous, more than miraculous. Could ever be more than wonderful. That's what Jesus is to me. He is to me. Everything that my soul ever longed for, everything that he promised, and so much more. He's more than amazing. That's what my Jesus is. That's what my Savior is. That's what Jesus is. That's what Jesus is to me. He's wonderful to me.
Larnell Harris. What a beautiful human being.
He's the definition of gentleman.
I
He
believe
really is. I love that he loves home so much. And whenever you do a concert with him, if he's within 3 hours, he is in his car driving home because he just loves to be home.
Miss Mitzi.
Yes. And now he's a grandpa. And it's just fun as we're doing some concerts together now, sort of a throwback to the 80s. He's having a blast.
By the way, I'm hearing good things about that. You and Larnell and who else?
Wayne Watson.
Yeah.
So we're having such a good time.
Well, you know, we've had a lot of outstanding personalities on the road for the last 40 years. You know, a lot of wonderful people have been on that bus.
Mm-hmm.
Larnell's right at the top.
Yes, he is.
Speaking of characters on the road, Mark Lowry.
Genius. He's just a genius.
I hate to tell you this, Sandi, he's had a lot of fun at your expense when you weren't around. One time at Praise Gathering,
I heard about this.
he did that little duet that you did with
Some
Paul
other time, some other place, yes.
But you weren't there, so he had a mop or something.
Or he put a blonde wig on a mic stand is what I heard.
So we'll see that at some other time in some other place where all my friends won't see and no one knows me and I'll hide my face.
We'll be a hit, I'm certain.
My ears will be hurting.
Sandy, I can't hardly wait for that sweet, sweet someday.
Lord, make him go away to some other time and some other place.
At some other time, some other place.
Only Mark Lowry. You know, and I hope he doesn't ever take offense at this. I've told him this.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Gomer Pyle because he's so funny. But then when he sings, it's glorious.
Well, you believe him when he sings.
You believe him when he sings.
Well, he must be a convincing human being because he convinced you to come to New York for his Mark Lowry on Broadway.
Yes, he did.
And can I tell you, that video has sold it's platinum. I mean, as he said, it's platinum now. It's going to go linoleum and then maybe aluminum somewhere.
And we got to do some fun thing, a song that I got to do with David Phelps
Yep.
from the Disney musical Aladdin.
So here is yet another side of Sandi Patty.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But now from way up here, it's crystal clear. Now I'm in a whole new world.
Now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Unbelievable sights, indescribable feelings. I'm soaring, tumbling, freewheeling through an endless diamond sky. A whole new
Don't you dare close your eyes.
100,000
Hold your breath, it gets better.
I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. I can't go back to where I used to be. Every turn a
What new
surprise.
horizon to pursue?
I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to spare.
Oh, let me share this whole new world with you. A whole new world. A whole new world.
It's a whole new world.
Let me share this whole new world with you.
back. Okay.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Glad
you so much. Hey, you know what? We were kind of talking while
ready
you were
to
gone,
go trio.
and we'll do it some other
kinda
time,
tired.
some
Yeah,
other place, okay?
Some other time.
All right. Love your hair. Hope you win. You ask me why my heart keeps singing, why I can sing when things go wrong. But since I found the source of music, I just can't help it. God gave the song. But since I found the source of music, I just can't help it. God gave the song. Come walk with me through fields and forests. We'll climb the hill and we'll still hear that song. For even hills, they resound with music. They just can't help it, 'cause God gave the song.
Yes, God gave the song. The song's always been with us. The song came into our world through a manger in Bethlehem. It was a simple little song, a simple, lovely song for every man to sing. Right from the first, some tried to ignore it. They said, "There's no song. It simply doesn't exist." Others tried to change the tune. They made laws to stop it. Armies marched against it. They killed some who sang the song. They screamed at it in fury. They tried to drown it out. Finally, they nailed that song to a tree. And they said to themselves, "There, that should take care of that." But it didn't.
What's that I hear? I still hear that music day after day. His song goes on. For once you know the source of music, you'll always hear it. God gave the song.
And aren't you glad he gave us a song?
I have to do that song again, Bill. That is so, I love that song. I love the story in between.
I get asked a lot of times by secular reporters, why do you do what you do? Good question.
It's a very good question.
Good question. But I usually say, I think for the same reason I've always done it, for two reasons. Number one, I love the art form, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that I love harmony. And secondly, I really believe the message.
Absolutely.
I still believe, in my case, after doing it for 40 years, I still believe that Christ can make a difference in the way you face life.
You know, otherwise, it's just music.
Yeah.
But doing music that has life-changing message, it becomes a challenge, an encouragement, and it has a possibility of changing not just my world, which it radically has, but hopefully somebody else's world who's listening.
Play me a hymn that comes to your mind and sing me a verse of something that's meaningful to you at this age. You know, we hear these things when we're kids, and then we live long enough, and life beats us up a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes life beats us up a little bit. Sometimes we choose to get in the ring, I guess, and take some punches, give some punches. And for a season, Bill, I thought music was done for me, at least publicly. I always loved music. But as God began to restore and heal and forgive and do those things that really only God can do, I feel like I sing now from a different place. And probably my favorite thing to sing of all time is this. I sing because I'm happy. And I sing because I'm free. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. His eyes on the sparrow, and that's why I know that he's watching over me today, and my kids and my parents. But we sing because there's a song to be sung, and that song can set us free.
Je t'aime, te amo, ja tibia liublu, ani ohevet otcha. I love you. Well, the sounds are all as different as the lands from which they came. And though our words are all unique, our hearts are still the same. Love in any language, straight from the heart.
John Moore, speaking of characters.
Speaking of characters, one of the original members of the Gaither Vocal Band.
Rode on the bus with us.
Yes, indeed.
Started writing some ideas that he had in the dinette in the bus when he started scratching out love in any language. Straight from the heart. Pulls us together.
All together, never apart.
Now you talk about a universal message. Do you still sing that?
I sing that all the time. It's one of those songs, especially when there's a kids choir, but here's how much our world has changed since the writing of that song. there's the lyric from Leningrad to Lexington. There's no Leningrad anymore. The chorus of that song, though, is still what matters. Love in any language, straight from the heart, pulls us all together, never apart. Once we learn to speak it, all the world will hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken here.
God was speaking to John Moore that day.
I think so.
When he wrote that lyric.
God even speaks on the bus.
Yeah, he really did.
Straight from the heart, pulls us all together, never apart. And once we learn to sing it, all the world will hear. Love in any language, fluently spoken.
Play something for me, Sandi.
What do you want to hear? My mama made us, take all those great classics.
Beethoven.
The Moonlight Sonata. Didn't you borrow a little bit from Beethoven?
Oh, we borrow from everybody. Play me some, that's a classical piece. Play me a piano piece that your piano teacher used to.
This was the hardest one I ever did. It's called Solfegetta.
Okay.
Beethoven, I'm pretty sure. So. And then it would change keys inside. I remember the rest of it. My mother would probably be pleased I know that much.
But it was all an important part of the training, wasn't it?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. It's one thing to love music. It's a whole other thing to understand it. And some of the young artists that are coming up, they'll say, I want to sing. I'll say, well, do you play the piano? Do you know how to read music? Well, no, I just want to sing. No, it's all part of the whole thing. And you also were a pianist, too. And I think piano
not
is...
a very great one. You see, I've got this little condition. This is called...
Well, it's quite proper.
Well, this is called Dupuytren's contraction. And the doctor said he's going to have to operate. And I asked him, I said, will it affect my playing? To which he said, Bill, I've heard you play it, and I don't think it's going to affect it. It's going to affect it that much.
But a bump. That's funny.
I can remember when you were on the road with us, you talked about the influences in your life, and you started out with singing as a kid.
Well, my dad said I was 2.5 when I sang in church for the first time. Jesus loves me, this I know. My mother says it was much better than that, but it was something like that.
Yeah.
And then take piano lessons and learning to put the right hand with the left hand and learning that flats and sharps do make a difference. And Karen Carpenter was a very big influence. Remember that little theme, and then of course Barbra Streisand. She was a very big influence on my life.
When you talk about Sandi Patty and Bill and Gloria and Indiana and our love for Indiana, and I know that you were born in Oklahoma and you now live in Oklahoma City. So part of your heart's in Oklahoma and part of it is in Indiana. But when you were here all those years,
Many years.
the love for Indiana and to capture the spirit of this place, a PR firm from New York called our office and said, would you write a song about Indianapolis? Gloria said, what's the theme? It said, the theme is going to be Indianapolis indeed. These two people love Indiana.
I love Indiana. Have loved raising my kids here. Love growing up here. It's been a great, great state.
So because of our love for Indiana, Gloria and I took this little hook, Indianapolis, and we had played around enough in New York and Broadway to say, I said, I can do this. And so I started doing Indianapolis, da da, half a step, indeed. We started writing a little thing, and I can remember J.D. Miller was playing keyboard, of course, and I said, J.D., I need a little help on this, on some of the harmonics. He came in and added a couple little chords on the thing, and we got done, and then Gloria waxed eloquently on James Whitcomb Riley, the 500-mile race.
It's a great piece of Indianapolis history as well.
History is very, very important. And so the county council, city county council loved it so much, they adopted this as the official song for Indianapolis. And for a year there, we were doing all kind of PR events down on the circle with Sandi singing. I mean, that was big-time stuff for us.
And you know what I loved about it was kind of, it let me musically step out and do a little more big band, a little more orchestral kind of thing. And I think I even growled, you know, Indianapolis.
Indeed.
It was awesome.
And that led to probably a lot of the symphony stuff that you are now doing.
I think it,
and for those who ever visit Indianapolis during Christmas, most of the time, they have this Christmas spectacular at the Symphony Hall for 2 weeks.
It's actually 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
And most of the times, Sandi is there. So you've made us all proud, Sandi. And especially to say, hey, we're from Indiana.
Yep.
And now we can say, not only do you know about the Indy 500 and Coach Bob Knight, but Sandi Patty doing the symphony and all that good stuff.
And the Colts.
And the Colts.
Not that I'm a diehard or anything.
You know, you can't talk about Sandi Patty and this crazy career without talking about a national thing that happened. You and David Clydesdale, the arranger, and Greg Nelson said, let's do something special to the Star-Spangled Banner.
You know, there was a project Ellis Island was kind of being refurbished, and so there was a project a lot of artists were on, and they had asked me to do the Star-Spangled Banner, but wanted a new verse to sort of reflect the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
So Claire Cloninger,
Yeah. Great lyricist.
great lyricist, came up with that brand new third verse that really, I think, celebrated that season. Here's why this was the best gig I ever had, because I recorded that, and I said to David Clydesdale, please don't write me above a high B.
Yeah.
When I got the chart, the last note was a D flat, and he said to me, oh, don't worry. He said, you'll never have to sing that again. And so we were watching the celebration of the Statue of Liberty at home, just like everybody. Anna, who's now 27, was just 2 at the time.
Yeah.
And the last montage comes on of all the highlights of the whole weekend. And I'm hearing, you know how when you hear something and it's familiar, but you can't quite place it? And Anna said, Mama, that's you singing. And we listened, and sure enough. So here I had this great opportunity, and I got to be home. It's kind of like an artist's dream. The next day, Peter Jennings sent a crew out because it had been on ABC. And from what I understand, they were flooded with phone calls. Half of the people saying, that was Sandi Patty, we know her. Half of the people saying, who was that?
Who's
We
Sandi
want to know.
Patty?
So he described me as this young little housewife from Anderson, Indiana, and sent a crew out the next day to do a little story. And that's kind of how all of that started.
And the Tonight Show then, a couple nights later, you were doing it. I will never forget, because Johnny Carson was asking you about how you sing high notes, and you said that your dad taught you.
My dad,
Yeah.
the truth, always said, you know what, don't worry about singing high. It's just like screaming on pitch. So for all my life, that's kind of how I've put it into practice.
Sandi, you've not written a lot of songs, but you have written some. The few that you have written have been quite good.
You know, I have not been a writer, but I have had ideas from time to time. They're born out of, I guess, what I've needed in my life.
Yeah.
And I was doing a Bible study about the names of God.
Yeah.
And I remember walking through the little grocery store in Chesterfield, Indiana, and thinking about the names of God and how they could make a difference in my life, thinking there is strength in the name of the Lord, and there is power in the name of the Lord. There is hope in the name of the Lord. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. And by the time I got to the produce section, I'd kind of written that chorus, and then I did what any good songwriter does. I called Gloria Gaither, and I said, I have this idea. I've kind of written the chorus. Could you help me? And we collaborated on that, and she came with me with this idea of seeing Jesus, you know, walking down on Palm Sunday, and he came in the name of the Lord. But then how does that make a difference in our life? And the second verse of that, when my plans have fallen through, and when my strength is nearly gone, and when there's nothing left to do, but just depend on you and the power of your name. During some of the worst seasons of my life, that was my prayer on stage, because my plans had fallen through and my strength was gone. And all I had left to do was call in the name of the Lord. And so whenever I sing that now, it is my story.
The crowds have lined the narrow street. to see this man from Galilee. He's just a carpenter, some say, and he's leading fools astray. Yet many kneel to give him praise, and in his eyes they glimpse the power that sees the hearts of all men. And he knows his Father's mind. He speaks his Father's words, for he comes in the name of the Lord. And there is strength in the name of the Lord. There is power. Sing it if you know it. There is power in the name of the Lord. There is hope in the name of the Lord. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. When my plans have fallen through, you ever feel like that? And when my strength is nearly gone, when there's nothing left to do but just depend on you and the power of your name. And as we call upon your name, your strength through our weakness to show, we can know the Master's plan. We can extend the Master's hand when we come in the name of the Lord. And there is strength in the name of the Lord.
How young, Sandi?
She's so young. Well, you know, I think I always kind of relate my life to before children or after children. And that was definitely before children. So I would have had to be 25, 26, I think. Wow. There are times I would like the youth of that body, but I like the wisdom of this soul.
It's too bad you can't put wisdom with youth.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, you know, that young, I was probably teaching your kids piano lessons about that time.
Remember that with my son Benji?
Love that. That's one of my all-time favorite. You know, taught Suzanne and taught Benji. And one of the things as a teacher, you kind of have to get in their mind to just see if they're understanding.
Yeah.
So one of the things, you know, I would ask all my students to do is, I need you to count out loud so I can make sure you're connecting the dots.
I remember this
Benji
story.
would not count out loud. And apparently Suzanne came home and shared with you that Benji would not count out loud, and we got into a little tussle. And so at AU, I got in my mailbox, a couple days later, came a little note. I opened it up. Dear Miss Sandi, I will count out loud. Benji Gaither. I have no idea what it took to produce those few words.
Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a fun.
Good kids don't just happen. We've got 3 great kids that we brag about all over the country. Good kids come from great parents, and Ron and Carolyn, you have modeled that in so many ways. In our little small communion that we've grown up in, but known Ron, for how many years, Ron? That goes clear back to...
Well, it must be back to 51.
Yeah.
That's when Carolyn and I both came to college, and you were just a young high school kid
Teaching.
around trying to peddle your music.
Ron was part of a quartet with Doug Oldham and
Ernie Gross, and started out with Paul Clausen, and we ended up with Dean Shield.
Yeah.
And
But you were the first tenor,
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
and you sang the high notes. And I can remember you rearing back and getting those
Yep.
notes. As somebody said, well, I don't know whether he got all of them, but he looked awfully good going after.
Well, when you were in with the quartet with Anderson University, and that I love this story, so I hope it doesn't put anybody on the spot. But Bill was a little younger than you guys.
Yes, he is.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Tell that. will
Well,
you?
we'd practice, you know, in a Doug's house or at
South Meridian.
or at South Meridian or at East Side, and every time we would practice, Bill would show up, and he'd have about maybe 8 or 10 sheets of. Nobody's going to remember this ditto. The purple
Purple did.
ditto.
I ran them off
And they were
at the school where I taught.
Exactly.
And if you made a mistake writing them, you're dead. There's no way to correct them. But anyhow, you'd run those off and you'd bring them out and say, try this. And so after Bill left, we'd
go.
look at it and we'd just kind of shake our head. We said, that boy won't amount to anything. Now we've all made our living singing your stuff.
I love that.
Well, that should be encouraging for those young kids who
that's
are
right.
listening in.
That's right.
And you knock on a lot of doors.
That's right.
And sometimes they don't always say yes.
Exactly.
But sooner or later, a door opens.
And yeah, it ought to be encouraging for those, and it ought to be a lesson for those who are performing to take a little time and look at something, because it may be better than they think.
This is my story. This is my song.
Your family. Sandi has 2 brothers, Mike
And Craig,
and Craig, and they're fantastic singers.
Wonderful
they
musicians
are
too.
good musicians. All the rest of them are good musicians.
Yeah.
I'm an athlete that can sing.
You played baseball, right?
Baseball and football.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I think most people know this kid was a tomboy, right? She loved to play sports herself.
Softball.
She would play
Softball,
softball and
volleyball.
she would catch. And I'll tell
In
you,
Phoenix.
I never knew there could be that much wet in Phoenix. She would just be sweating all the time, and she'd throw that mask off like she does in some other circumstances now, and she'd throw it. I'll never do this again. But she did it of her own volition.
I love sports.
Not name dropping, but I was talking to Tony Dungy.
You know, Peyton told me that.
And we were talking about the similarity between sports and music, and the same problem with with young artists coming along and understanding that this is, when it's all said and done, there's a lot of discipline and a lot of hard work. And Mama, this is where you come in on the piano. This gal is a great keyboard player.
You are right. She's the musician
She is
of
the
our
musician
family.
of our
My
family.
parents saw that I took piano lessons
Yeah?
because my dad was at AU and he was pastoring in Shelbyville, had no pianist in the church. I was 6, so they were determined.
Raise your own.
Yeah. And this little lady came up, it was during the Depression. She walked up the steps and she said, "You have a student that could take piano, I'll give her 1 lesson a week if you can pay 50 cents for the other lesson a week." And they did that on $10 a week. I don't know. But that was how they gave me my gift. Well, I had this child and I thought, oh gosh, she's got to take piano. So I insisted that she did till she got to high school, and then she did voice. But the boys took also.
Yeah.
It's just part of who we are.
And you know, it's that when I took piano and practicing every day, which you insisted we do, and there were more years that I hated it than didn't hate it.
Of course.
But you had to stick to it. And early on in my career, I was doing a church and my tracks, and the sound system completely went down. So I ended up playing the whole show on the piano, and I called my mother that night and I said, "I get it now. Thank you for making me practice."
I and my Savior am happy and blessed.
You had some real trauma in your life when Craig was involved in a wreck and was in a coma for how long?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
The mama knows.
Terrible weeks.
He was actually had finished a session
Here.
at the studio
Probably in this room.
and was driving the back roads to Indianapolis because he had another session in Indianapolis, and it was a really foggy. I don't think I've ever seen the fog that bad since that day in
February
86.
16.
It's on Highway 28,
Yeah.
going toward Elwood, I think.
86.
And there was a pile up in front of him that he didn't see until it was too late and slammed into the side of a semi. And I will never forget this because his middle name is actually Craig.
Yeah.
And so someone called me and said, "Is your brother John Patty?" So that didn't really register with me.
Yeah.
John Patty? No, his name is Craig. Well, there's a John Craig Patty who's just been lifelined to Indianapolis. And I had to get on the phone because you guys were in California.
Yes, we were.
Yeah, we were on
Northern
tour.
California.
And that was, so I had your schedule because we didn't have cell phones.
No.
And you were just getting ready to leave the hotel. And I called you and I never, we usually always begin a conversation. Everybody's fine, but, and then,
Yeah.
because we just want the bottom line up front,
Yeah.
then you can give me the details.
Yeah.
And I said, "I need you both to sit down." And told them that Craig, and they didn't think he was going to make it.
No.
So you immediately drove back.
We got here to the airport. Mike picked us up, and I said, "Is he? He's still alive." So it was awful.
And he did survive.
Yes, he did.
Married a sweet girl named Sandy.
Named
That's
Sandy.
right. So,
Two Sandi
Sandy Patties.
so there are 2 Sandy Patties.
Yes.
And you have heard me in public
I
situations to say, obviously everybody knows about Sandy's star status, and everybody knows her in the whole world. But I said, the real star of this family is a kid that I know who had a ton of musical talent and still can do studio singing, and you got to be good to do studio singing. But the wreck really affected him
His voice.
dramatically. And not far from this studio is a nursing home where I have seen that kid go in there to people, including my cousin Arden, who lived over there, and sing with them with joy, and see that, and see those old people. Half of them don't even know that they're there. Sandy, to me, he is still the star of your family.
Could
We
not
all
agree
agree.
more.
And
All
Yeah.
agree.
one of the sweetest kids, and Ron and Carolyn, that's got to make you.
Oh, it does.
You did something right,
Well,
and to see you cheer for him. I mean, to me, she's a female Glenn Payne. Glenn Payne was the greatest cheerleader we
Yeah,
ever
she
had.
is. Oh my goodness.
I mean, she'll cheer for, and see her cheer for her little brother who's
That's
been
exactly.
through so much.
Well, he was in the hospital, and it was time for the Grammys.
Yeah.
And she was nominated.
Yeah.
And she said, we were in the waiting room, and she said, I'm not going. And we said, well, now let's see. No, I'm not going, she said. What would Craig want you to do? Finally, she said, well, okay. And then she won, and then said that on camera, and then the whole world just sort of
Started praying for Craig.
It was just wonderful.
Interview. Do you know could you sing a chorus of Through It All, as the three of you?
I'll sing the bottom. Through it all. I'll sing that. Yeah.
Through it all, and the bass.
I was going to say.
Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I learned to trust in God. Through it all, through it all, I've learned to depend upon His
In Mobile, Alabama, one night, we were not in the arena. The arena was next door. It's when we were building our audiences. We were in a theater that seated 2,500, a lovely theater. And we were done. And in those days, I guess they could tear down sound pretty quickly because by the time we got finished changing clothes and came out on stage, they had put the little light bulb, as they do in theaters,
That little work light.
in the middle of the stage. And I can remember this like it was.
You and Gloria and I happened to be walking together.
Yeah.
We were rolling our luggage, and you saw that work light.
And I looked, and it was one of those nights when God showed up. It was that whole room was filled with praise and people applauding and telling us we were the best thing since ice cream, and we believed him. And I looked at you and I said, Sandy, look at this. Because with that light bulb meant it's over,
Right.
I said, the stage is bare. And I think I went on to say, and the crowd is gone. And we both looked at Gloria and I said, finish it, hon. The stage is bare, the crowd is gone. And she said, the love we share still
Lingers on.
What's the next?
We sang and prayed, and we laughed and cried. And in our fumbling way, we tried to say what only hearts could know. And all too soon we had to go. And now, here in this quiet room, there's empty seats. There's just me and you. Wow. My favorite lyric in that is, I need you now much more than words can say. Tomorrow's such a daily day, and I so need to feel you then, holding my hand. Please hold me then.
Have you had days since then, when you have been in your kitchen, all alone, and thought, why am I doing what I'm doing?
Yeah. More often than I care to admit sometimes.
Yeah.
And it is a sacrifice, not just for us, but for our families.
Yeah.
But I guess I do what I do because that same God who holds my hand on the daily days can make a difference in somebody else's life because of the message. Otherwise, I would just be the soccer mom because I love that.
Yeah.
But it's the daily days when God shows up and we allow him to work that makes such a difference. When I was younger as an artist, I used to feel like who I was on stage, I had to carry with me off stage. And that just did not work.
Yeah.
And it's who I am in the kitchen making cookies for Sam's baseball team.
Yeah.
That's who I want to carry with me on stage. That's why it makes a difference.
The stage is bare, the crowds are gone. The love we shared still lingers on. We sang and played, and we laughed and cried, and in our fumbling way, we tried to say what only hearts can know. And all too soon, we had to go. And now, here in this darkened room, there's just empty seats. There's just me and you. It was so easy to call you Lord when 1,000 voices sang your praise. But there's no one to hear me now. So hear me now. Be near me now. The stage is bare. The crowds have gone. Lord, now's the time I need your song to give me joy and certainty when no one else is watching me. I need you more, much more than words can say, 'cause tomorrow's such a daily day, and I so need to feel you then, holding my hand. Please, please hold me then. Ooh, I need you, Lord.
of what we do is important,
Yeah.
but the message is really what is the most important. I remember you saying, if you have to say before you sing what your song is going to say, then don't sing it.
Yeah.
Why bother?
Yeah.
Let the song speak for yourself. And so make those words important. And you do such a great job of that. And I've tried to tell the story of a song
Yeah.
when I'm singing it, because that's what's so important.
I don't know of anybody who does it any better than you, because, you know, your mind is a computer, and I've often told young artists, run that through your mind. I mean, this is an important lyric.
Thank you.
Could we with ink the ocean fill, and were the skies of parchment made, where every stalk
Absolutely.
on earth a quill, and every man a scribe a trade, to write the love of God above would drain the ocean dry.
Absolutely.
Or could the scroll contain the whole of those stretch? I mean, that's a lyric if you run it through your brain.
That is a great lyric.
Yeah.
And it all matters. The lyric, you know, when you and Gloria came to me and Larnell with I've Just Seen Jesus,
Yeah.
all that I've done before.
Won't matter anymore.
And that doesn't mean even just the bad stuff.
Yeah.
That means the good stuff too.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's not going to matter either.
Yeah.
All that I've done before won't matter anymore. I've just seen Jesus, and I'll never be the same again. That's why we show up every day and do what we do.
Well, we knew he was dead. It is finished, he said, and we watched as his life ebbed away.
Then we all stood around till the guards took him down. Joseph begged for his body on that day.
And it was late afternoon when we got to the tomb, wrapped his body and sealed up the grave.
So I know how you feel. His death was so real, but please listen and hear what I say. I've just seen Jesus. I tell you, he's alive. I've just seen Jesus, our precious Lord alive. And I knew,
Yes, I
he really saw me too.
saw me
As if till now I never leave. All that I've done before won't matter anymore. I've just seen
Jesus, and I'll never be the same again. It was his voice she first heard, those kind, gentle words, asking what was her reason for tears.
And I sobbed in despair. My Lord is not there.
He said, child, it is I am here. I just see Jesus.
What's that I hear? I still